Hi, nice to see you all here in Zaandam, and also hi to the people who are looking remotely. I know some of you, so thank you for joining. My name is Jennifer, and I'm here to share with you a story about onboarding people to a work environment that didn't exist yet. This was for a company called Eurofins, one of the world's fastest growing companies in the world. And with 55,000 employees, they are the world market leader in testing for a safer environment and a healthier life. This story started a little over a year ago with a hideous virus, which you've heard about, and a few people that decided to do something about it. I hope you like it. So, a little over a year ago, we were all in lockdown, sitting at home, in desperate need of a haircut. But not me. I did need a haircut and some coloring, but I was not sitting at home. I had just taken on a new job. More of a challenge, actually. So this was the challenge, to build a COVID lab that can handle 35,000 samples a day to do PCR analysis in no more than 9 weeks. This has never been done before. Up until this point, a regular microbiology lab can do approximately 300 tests a day. Furthermore, we were informed by companies such as UWV and VNO-NCW that there weren't enough educated people in this field to regularly staff our laboratory. Also, working in high volumes means repetitive and boring work. We estimated that we needed about 250 people to keep this lab running, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This kind of work isn't for everybody. We have very strict safety rules. We need people to work very accurately and precise. There is just no room for an error in a test result. COVID testing is, like I said, a 24-hour business, which means people would have to work around the clock, 7 days a week. There's no time to waste. We have exactly 9 weeks. Meanwhile, the country is in lockdown. The fact that we couldn't go to the hairdresser, the bar, or the gym may have had an upside. There were a lot of people sitting at home with their hair, not being able to go to work due to this lockdown. Maybe there was a way to get them involved. So, it was definitely challenging, but the spoiler to this story is that we did it. And I'm here to share with you just how it happened. So it's done. And to be honest, it wasn't easy. It wasn't always fun, and I did cry at a certain point. Well, but in the end, I'm here talking to you now, so everything's fine. Working in a lab is very different from working in an office or a hotel. To be able to distract RNA from a sample, we use a special mixture of fluids that can cause burns when in contact with human skin. So safety is a big issue. We recruited a group of 25 people with very different backgrounds. Some were jobless, others were students who couldn't go to school. The only thing they had in common that they had never ever worked in a laboratory before or heard from PCR analysis. Oh, as the picture shows, we actually had pilots, we had award-winning pastry chefs in our laboratory. We had a lot of bartenders, which is good for atmosphere. They were a great crew. So, how to onboard new hires in the middle of a lockdown for an organization that doesn't even exist yet? Well, you pre-board. And this is a good idea because it saves half of your administrative tasks. Oh, die moet ik zo doen. Also, employees feel more connected to your company and your business when they are informed upfront. We also had great turn-up rates for the very first day of work. And last but not least, we saved on recruitment because the turnover was way below 18%. Oh. This is a picture that was taken exactly 1 year ago. It was November 4th, 2020. It's a photo of the first 25 workers that joined our lab. The lab that didn't exist at that point. The same goes for all the processes. They were not in place. So basically, they were invited to their introduction and had to shape this program on their day since there was nothing in place. So it went something like this. Hi, nice to see you. Welcome to your first day of work. Please tell us how you're going to help us shape this laboratory. For all the next groups, we knew that we had to find a way to get people ready to start working almost directly, immediately in the lab. There was no time to start an onboarding program that would take our people days or weeks to get ready to work. So, together with our first 25, we decided that we needed to pre-board, and that meant that we had to get the work explained in and demonstrated in short videos. So, as you remember, during lockdown there was not much to do but Netflix. Since I was working 16 hours a day, I had no say in what we were watching at home. So by accident, I started watching a show called Sons of Anarchy. Not really my cup of tea. Give us a cheer if you know Sons of Anarchy. Thanks. It's about a motor gang, for those who don't know. But a few episodes into the show, I really got into it. I noticed that the dudes that were riding the motorcycles had patches on their backs, or at the fronts actually, and that said something like president or vice president or who knows what. But some of them, they had a patch that said First Niner, and a few more episodes along the way, I realized that the First Niner patch was given to the first 9 people that joined the gang. A little bit like our first 25. So I decided to gather them all together in the hallway and express my gratitude and appreciation for them. I realized that this was only 23 days after their first day at work. But already they were creating processes and help onboard new workers. So it felt more like 2 years had gone by. So I gave them all a very special button that said First 25, so they could pin it to their lab coats. And since they had created the instruction videos, in which they were unrecognizable, we asked them to finally star in a video without their masks and lab coats on. so that we could see just really who they were. The video.
Bioscoop.
Festival.
Dan ga ik voor de bioscoop.
Bioscoop. Ik ben met de tijd wat ouder, dan ben ik nu wat rustiger. Als je me een paar jaar terug zou vragen, zou ik festival kiezen.
Laten bezorgen.
Oeh, kan ik ook allebei zeggen?
This was just a short clip. You can see it on my LinkedIn account if you want to. One of those 25 people was Marisol, and I would like to introduce her to you since she's here with us today. So please welcome Marisol. Hey Marisol.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Good so. I see you're wearing your...
My bad.
Yeah. So can I ask you something? Yeah, what was the most challenging and how do you look back on the past year?
The most challenging was that I was unemployed before I got the job at Eurofins, and it was an amazing experience because after that I could welcome 30 people a week, and that was very amazing for me because I was staying at home doing Netflix too, but then I could meet so many people with different background, and after a few days that they started working there, we had one purpose, and that is get the job done and begin to testing.
Thanks, Marisol. Yeah. Please. So with Marisol, 25 of our workers work day and night to design work processes, and they start in their own instruction videos for the next workers. But not only did they make instruction videos, like we've heard before, they also made videos about where everything was, where to park, where the printer was, where the meeting rooms were, and also a grand tour through the building and into the lab. So this way, your first day at work didn't feel like your first day at work. It would feel more like walking through the video game that you used to play, like Minecraft, for instance. Well, all the videos they made were made available to the people that started after them, just a few days before their first work day. And all this, I look surprised, I know. All this had a great impact on the onboarding time. People were almost immediately deployable. They knew where to go, where to start, and what the machines were. After showing them one time in the lab under supervision, they were ready to start processing tubes, and not long thereafter, they did it independently. So really, when there's little time to onboard, pre-board, and we made this happen with our first 25 workers. So our onboarding schedule looked something like this. So if possible, we gave access to our information a month before, but in the first period, it was more likely to be a couple of days before. So a couple of days before, we gave people general information, such as where to park to get people at ease. And 2 days before their actual first day, they were introduced to all the lab processes, and they could start learning from their home. So on the first day of onboarding, all other kinds of practical information, like information about time and attendance and payrolling, they were unlocked. And the rest of the month, general information about the organization is unlocked, shaped as quizzes or a short clip in a playful way. After 5 days, people could add comments in the feedback survey, and almost everybody did. So, When lockdown finally ended, people were eager to go on their summer holidays, which created a huge increase in volumes. The samples were stacked up till the ceiling, even after Dansen with Jansen. So, again, the videos came in handy. All the office staff, including me, stepped up and helped. This is me on the graveyard shift on a Saturday night. So we also have a question where you can use your phone. Only I think Marisol told the answer. So the question is, who listened? How many people did we pre-board a week? Kan je het boek uit mijn tas pakken? Oh, very well. You did very well. You listened to her, that's good. Well, this is a backup fun fact. Well, as I told you, building the lab took 9 weeks, and we decided we didn't make a book on how this came about. This is the book. And the question, well, I will tell you because we don't have it prepared. The book took 14 weeks to make, on a lab that took 9 weeks to make. So this is the best part for me, actually. So we asked our employees to review their onboarding, and we never got a review below 8. People really understood the challenge that we had and our business. And the fact that you could connect with people before your first day at work is very highly appreciated. Oh. Getting people access to their working environment before their first day seems to give people the sense of being welcome and gets them enthusiastic. In the beginning, people mostly gave us insight in what they needed in the workplace. And we made the required adjustments. Some were as simple as a relaxing room, but also salt and pepper in the cantina, things we didn't think of. So, looking back on this project, the word game changer is the one that sticks to me the most. Because during the past year, the only thing that we could rely on that was the fact that something would come up that would change everything. COVID changed into a different variant, Delta, which had an impact on our process. The curfew happened, which had an impact on our administrative personnel, but also made people be late because they were pulled over by the police. Different test locations opened because of my colleagues from the GGD. That meant that we had to work with different materials, if we had materials at all, because there was so much testing done around the world that we ran out of certain equipment, such as tips and tubes. So those were all the things that we would have to find alternatives for. And also, and this is the sad part, the recent filmed instruction videos were not accurate anymore. They had to be redone several times. So, in the end, and looking back, I would say as far as lessons learned go, keep developing, always. Ask for feedback. Adjust accordingly. Stay calm. And start over. I hope you enjoyed my story. Thank you very much for listening.